political selections of 8 ball, which is good because me and Glenn will keep having a chat about how we can develop New South Wales 8 ball, but that's the time for talk for and back ball. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we've just started, and all I can say is congratulations to Alec Evernardis and Phil Riley for making the final of the Old Dogs tournament, which is the absolute premier event for over 50s in Australia. And to be honest, 2 legends of the game have made the final.
Spot on, Smithy.
Very impressed with what's happened all weekend. Working Men's Club, I would love to just say fantastic for you guys to turn around and back the 8 ball community around Australia to get behind this event, come down, travel and play in it. And the player response has been great. I haven't seen Phil Riley now since Perth way back in 2013, myself personally. And for him to pick up the cue and come and play, it means a bit, this tournament. I've caught up with so many friends and rivals that I've had over the years. It's been great, but the quality for me is just oozed out. It's fantastic. And to be honest, I expected Alec Evernardis to make the final. I didn't know who he'd play. I probably hoped maybe it would be a Sonny Lister, as in a long-standing rivalry, or a Mick Delahunty. That would have been fantastic. But I tell you what, I'm more than happy with Phil Riley being that man. Glenn, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, exactly what you said. I support 100%, Smithy, because I'll tell you now, you aren't going to get, whether you get 2 better blokes, but Alec Evernardis and Phil Riley are known throughout the 8 ball community, and whether it was Alec or Phil, or whether it was Mick Delahunty or Sonny Lister from WA, and we all know Sonny Lister is, not only a great player, he's a great bloke. He's a great bloke, unlike people like bloody Greg Laurie, that sort of. Oh, hello, Greg. How are you, mate? Hey, look, I don't know anybody. Seriously, I don't know anybody in the 8 ball community that I've met over the last few years.
You don't know anyone.
Shush. And Alec has just given me the shush because I'm talking a little bit loud. But I don't know anybody over the last few years that I've met that isn't a great person. Like they're all great blokes.
I think that's masters in general. I think once you get to a master's sort of time, it changes. And for me, I got talked in by the boys last year. Peter Watt talked me into playing. Unfortunately, his health cost him. He couldn't come away with us to play for New South Wales. But for me, I want to catch up with a lot of old faces and a lot of fierce competitors.
Can I ask you something, Dave, mate?
Yeah, of course.
All right, we talk about the older blokes, but I also know of some of the younger guys. I may not be, as good mates with them as I am with the older guys, but people like Jake McCartney, and one bloke I've had, everybody knows is Benny Noonan. And Benny and I don't know each other, but him, and then there's Robbo, and there's a plethora of them. The younger players are absolute guns and superstars, and I think they have really taken up the mantle of these older guys that have really shown how the game should be played, and they play it with sportsmanship. Like we saw it today with Alan Brown calling a foul on himself when he was queuing up and his tip barely touched the white ball. Nobody saw it. Nobody at all in here saw it. But he called a foul on himself. Cost him the game.
Well, you know what? I would like to think that every 8-ball player playing at this level would call that on themselves. I would definitely like. Greg Laurie's
he's an exception.
Greg Laurie's a special guest commentator in the back. But look, to be honest, and the players you mentioned, I've got good relationship with a few of them guys, and they've had a lot to do with a lot of these guys here at this event. They've been captained by these guys. I would say Ben Noonan. Ben Noonan's been away under Alec Evernardis many times in the Australian team, and would learn a lot.
That noise in the background is Greg Laurie because he's had 9 bottles of red wine that he shouldn't have had. No, but Smithy, you're right, mate. It's great. They get these older blokes that will give them a really good example of how to perform. Not only perform, but how to act as a sportsman. And I think it's amazing. Like when I saw Smithy call that foul on himself today, that could have been the turning point of that match. You know, he could have won that game. He could have won the match.
What a shot by Ace.
But he called the foul on himself. And I was talking to him afterwards. He said, I know nobody saw it, Glenn. He said, but my tip just touched it. Never moved it, but it touched the white. And he said, no, I know I did the wrong thing. He said, I had to stand up and do it. And like most of us do the same thing. I called 2,000 myself this weekend, both of them which cost me a game. But, you know, chances are it didn't hurt me really because I probably would have lost those games anyway. But, you know, like that's the way you got to play it. You've got to play it with integrity and, you know, respect of your opponent, respect of the game itself and respect your character. And I think that's the important thing.
You do. You absolutely do.
Coming away to these events, and for me personally, and yeah, you've probably been exposed to some of these quality events more than I have being from Broken Hill, but you know, the closest we get to it is when we go down to Adelaide and we go to places like Empire that Alec Everardis owns, and that is about as good as it gets from us unless we come to something like this. It's where we can go to an event that is run in a professional way by people with integrity and class as far as on and off the bays, if you like. And I just think that, you know, that is very, very important. So, and that's why I've got a lot of respect for Alec Everardis. You know, I just think he's an absolute superstar.
You know, I was saying in the match before, I met Alec a long time ago in the early 90s, and he's had nothing but time for myself and a lot of young players from Tasmania when I met him. But it's no surprise he's in this position. He's been the dominant player for 30 years in 8-ball. Yeah. And if you can be around and competing, and make no mistake, Alec played fantastic the Australian titles last year in the men's. He's just a force. Yeah. He's a force. He detests losing, but he plays with a lot of integrity. He's very fierce, very competitive. And if you play for a team that Alec is in charge of, he's going to demand perfection. That's okay. But you really have to front up. And for me, a lot of young blokes have learned a hell of a lot from him. And he just demands it. And you watch his game, he's disciplined. He keeps going back to the same thing, same traits. And he just keeps winning. It's a habit. And he knows the habit and he hates to lose. Couldn't
agree more. Yep, you're spot on.
He's going to win the first frame. And the thing is with this final, it's a race to 8. So that there's a couple of things that can happen there. Race to 8, you can jump out and get a lead, but you can be pulled back. You've got to concentrate. It's not like a race to 5, which we've been seeing in the losing side now. Mm-hmm. With a race to 8, it's different. You really have to be focused for the full journey. What we know is Alec will be. Yeah. We also know that Phil Riley will be. So it'll be very interesting to see how this tussle goes. If Phil manages to stay with Alec and put enough pressure on him like Alan Brown did and force it to the last 3 or 4 frames, then we could have a real exciting game on our hands. If it goes to a second set, I'm going to say it's anyone's game.
Did you watch the game a bit with Phil and Sonny?
Look, I did.
I think Sonny won the first 2 games.
Yep.
What did Phil do? He shut it down.
Look, he did.
I think they had a race to 5.
Oh.
Can we check how many balls hit the rail, please, Salty? Because not sure if there was
Look,
4.
you know what? I know 3 did. I thought the 4th did, but you're going to have to look at the replay.
All
Because
right.
I think 4 did.
Folks,
but
we're
I
just
saw
going to
3.
check the replay to confirm that 4 balls actually hit the rail.
All right, well, I was given that one, and I think 3 others did. So let's have a look.
And Andrew Saltmarsh is our official controller, and he is going to wind it back and have a look.
It's VAR is going around the world. Ace has actually asked for his VAR.
You know,
We're not sure
left.
how many we get at VAR, so.
You got 2.
But you know
Alec
what I like?
said he's got 2.
What I like of the fact is that Alec's happy to ask, Phil's happy for him to ask, and they're both going to have a look because they both don't know.
And this is the.
All right, that's hit.
So the bottom one's hit.
Yeah, it's drilled straight in.
There's definitely 3. Yep.
Wait on. If this one
There's
hits,
4. There's
all
4.
right, that's 4.
Top red.
Okay.
Top red hit. Okay, folks. So we've got 4 balls that have
All right.
actually hit the cushion. And that's the beauty of the game, the modern game these days, is you can have this video review.
But the great thing is, to be honest,
Yep.
we can actually play pool now. We are playing for one of the biggest prizes in pool, in 8-ball in Australia, and we don't have a referee. We've got 2 men refereeing themselves, and they're happy to
Call
do
the shots
so.
on each other.
And you know what? They
On
turned around
themselves.
and went. Phil went, I think 4 hit. Alec went, well, I don't think 4 hit. They've come and checked. All good.
Integrity. That's what it is. It's integrity. You've got a bloke like Alec who is quite prepared to say, listen, I want to make sure 100% that the balls all hit the cushion, the 4 balls hit the cushion. So those that aren't aware, 4 balls must hit a cushion or you must pot a ball on the break. Now, that just shows you the integrity of these players, where he says, listen, how about we go to the review and we check it out just so you know.
Well, there's not many places that have an Andrew Saltmarsh on hand that can show you that review.
No, that's true.
So
Salty does a good job.
Salty's all over it. Oh.
Ooh.
What'll be interesting about this is these guys have been mates and teammates, and they've won Australian doubles championships together. They've been mates for 30 years. They're playing each other in the final of the biggest Masters tournament ever. They know each other's games.
Of course they do.
In theory, if anyone can turn around and top Alec, it's going to be Phil. What I like about this is, at the end of the day, they'll shake hands and move on. This is going to be a great game.
Damo, I was talking to Alec yesterday. Friday night, where he and I think Phil had played and lost, and he wasn't cueing all that well. And then Alec has come over and had a chat, and they spent a good 30, 40 minutes on this table going over different shots. And later on, I caught up with Alec, and Alec and I are mates, and we're having a drink together. And I said, yeah, what I reckon, Alec, I said, I can't believe you go over there with Phil on, and I said, I know you're mates, but you're also competitors in an event, and you go over there and tell him what he's doing wrong. He said, Glenn, you know what I was doing? I was telling him what he tells me. I said, what do you mean? He said, when I'm cueing wrong, he coaches me. He said, I'm giving back to him what he does to me. That speaks volumes of those 2 guys, their integrity and the respect they have for each other, because they can get up there and they, even knowing that they're going to be a good chance they're going to be playing against each other, they will still help each other out. I think that's amazing.
I think you're
right.
right.
Really do.
And I know I've banged on about it, but the fact that Phil's he's done the tough journey. He's come through. He's won a lot of frames through the losers' side, or a lot of matches. Sorry, let alone frames. You won a mountain of frames, and he's got there. Alex played 4 games.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Phil's played probably...
Alec hasn't lost.
Phil's probably played 12 matches.
But, you know, to be able to do what Alec's done, Alec has gone through and not lost.
Yeah, no. Oh, take nothing away from him there. I do like the concept. And you know what? You know what I like too? We're playing a pub sport, and it's starting to get a bit loud in here. And what that is it's atmosphere. Everyone's having a beer now. They're finished, but they're watching the 2 best blokes in the room, and the respect will be there. But they're all a bit happy. It's going to be a bit loud. It'll be interesting to see how they both play. Alec owns a pool hall.
Yeah.
Phil's worked in a pool hall. I don't think there's going to be an issue with this.
Damo, I'll tell you.
You know.
Go to England, go to Cyprus like we did.
Yep.
It is the noisiest, and I'm talking about people.
I haven't been to Cyprus, but I've certainly done England.
Singing on the top of their voices. And when I walked in, it was the first time I've ever experienced it. And, you know, I've had people playing a bit of music and things like this, but when I walked in there, I looked and I said, what the F is going on here? And they said, get used to it because it's going to get worse. And you know what? You can say it got worse, but you know what I reckon? It got better.
It's okay, though, isn't it?
Amazing. It was amazing.
I like it. I think it adds to the atmosphere.
It does.
What I like about it too, you just really see what guys can block it out and play pool.
That's it. And after a while, when you get used to it, you do. You just play your game. You don't even know. You don't even hear it.
That's right. I'll tell you what, Glenn. One thing I'll notice for sure, and I just want to point this out to the 8-ball players that are watching at home, and the older guys will know, but any of the young guys that are watching this, and Alex got a lot of fans that will be absolutely watching this.
Yep.
But I'd like to look at. You can see the table up the top. Right, you can see a table in the background. There's a brush on it. There's a nap brush. You can see a couple of. What I want to point out is there's wine glasses, a bottle of wine, and I'm sitting here now at the moment with Glenn, and I'm having a drink, but Glenn's having a red. When you get to Masters, the drink changes. We're not drinking stubbies. We're drinking red. We're drinking spirits. It's a bit different, and I just want to point that out because it's going to get really vocal in here because this red wine is going to hit these boys because they've been out for a while and they're having a wine.
And let's face it, that's why we had to get rid of Greg Laurie and put you in here, mate, because
Greg's had too many reds. He's had too many reds.
Yeah. And usually, I think it's surprising if people back home, they thought it might have been me. But anyway, look, all fun and games and we have a good time. But look, we watch these
Masters
guys.
is fantastic, and I'd really like to encourage all the guys that have wanted to play Masters that are watching at home, go and play Masters, please. Just go and enjoy it. Enjoy your pool again. Have a beer, have a wine, whatever, but go and enjoy it. Get involved.
Spot on.
And play in some of these tournaments because you get a chance to play against the best there's ever been in Australia every time you go to a tournament, whether that be... Fortunately enough for us, it's in Tasmania. You and me travelled down here, and we're both from New South Wales. We both travelled down to play, and for us, it's fantastic. We enjoy it.
No, mate, look, when you have a look at this, and exactly what you're saying, we have a look at. Greg Laurie's trying to get him.
Jeez,
but what you're saying is spot on. We get down here and we have a look, and we just love meeting up with these people because I'll tell you now, they may be your opposition.
You're in then.
May be your opposition.
It gets to 4. May
be your opposition. But they're our mates. They're our mates. And look, you get to know people and you sort of do whatever. Darren Waite is here, and he's just come over to me and he said, "Can you pass on my best to Christine, my wife, and Anna, Christina, and Nula over in Cyprus, please." Thanks, buddy.
Laurie, are you getting the drinks? No. Okay.
So, here we go. This is all over. This is all over, Damo. This is all over. Little bit of stun here. That's 1-0, and it's going to be 1-1. It's going to be 1-1. Little bit of stun across here. No, you can't.
Okay, so we're back at the pool.
Okay.
And
So nothing's down at the moment.
Cooler on the
Nothing has been potted. And Phil is assessing the situation. He's going to go for the reds. Oh, no, he's not. He's going for yellows. Actually, yeah, of course he is. Have a look at him.
There he is.
Oh,
that's a strange shot. It's an open table. Now,
Yeah, it's open.
my obviously the bottom yellow on the top rail passes under the red
yeah, under the red.
because
left.
I would assume that Phil was going to pot that and then slide that under or over the hole. The reds have got safety, so to be honest, Alec should, I would think, look for a yellow.
Yellow.
Here.
Maybe the yellow
Yeah.
in between
No,
the
it's-
red.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and the
yellow
yellow
to
and
the,
the
yellow
red.
to the right
Yeah.
corner. It's the
Yeah.
one he's going to take.
Yeah.
But
He's got to take that one.
I'm-
He'll probably just drift it over there. You think? He drifted over there and then play the one closer to the rail?
no, I'm not even looking at the next ball. I'm just.
Well, where would you if you're going to look at moving forward, what would you do? I would thought he'd have taken the one. No, well, he hasn't.
Well, now
Oh,
obviously
now
he's
he
on this
can.
straight. He run down for that top yellow. But I was just thinking, I didn't think Phil needed to hit that so hard to actually achieve what he wanted to achieve. So I'm a bit surprised Phil didn't. I'm surprised Phil made the error
No,
on that ball.
this table, when you're looking at on the screen, sometimes it's deceiving. I look at this red. Would that pass underneath as you're looking up the top of the table where Alec's going now, underneath that red? Because I thought he would have just played that over there and then played that one, then the ones into the centre. But now he's played this. He's obviously going to push that red between the two reds over into the corner
Just
pocket,
let the white drift up. He'll be on that ball into the middle.
into the centre. Yeah. Oh. Well, he's covered
There you
it.
go.
He's
Yeah.
covered it.
Well,
There's no harm
He
there.
didn't want to cover it. He was going out.
Yeah, I know he was going out, but there's no harm. He's covered that pocket.
Actually, and I'm
You know,
hoping.
if he dropped that, it was an out. But
Looking back now, obviously we're playing the final. A bit of a shout out to Brenton Collier if he's out there. Hopefully Brenton's in Port Lincoln. Big hello, mate. Hopefully you're watching Ace do his thing here tonight. So I haven't talked to you for ages, but hey, our Liverpool team's going well, mate. And we're looking okay. So hopefully we go pretty good, mate. And we're looking forward to catching up for a chat. Hopefully we win the Premier League. And for your sake, hopefully Ace will get a win tonight for you. No, it's on. It's on.
it's on.
It's on, mate.
Oh, Volcano's still here. Susie. Oh, they're talking to Chris and Mandy. Hello. Always erupting.
Still a good crowd here down at the workers. Still probably
that's a
50,
great
50
shot.
60 people in
That
the
is
pub.
a great shot.
Ace is
That's a
doing what
great
he
shot.
does.
Don't move his chair. No.
Now,
Leave it alone. You'll put him off. Oh, Greg Stubbs has got to move Alec's chair. Oh, look at that. Yeah, look.
you off? You off?
See you, don't worry.
Johnny
JB,
Barton,
Johnny
Johnny
Barton.
Barton, the legend of South Australian 8 ball. He and Mick Delahunty, synonymous with 8 ball in Australia and South Australia. Great catching up with you, Johnny.
It's been a brilliant weekend. For those of you who didn't make it this time, make sure you get your entries in early.
Yes.
Now, my tournament starts on the 3rd
April.
of April. So any of
Legend.
you who haven't got your entry in, give me a call, 04 11 22 7374, and we'll make sure we lock you in.
You're a champion, Johnny. Good
Yeah,
on
the
you,
great-
JB.
and
Thanks,
the great
buddy.
thing,
Love you.
JB's been around for a long time, and the fact that he probably initiated the fact of having Masters tournaments, and his tournament, the Empire, which is hosted by Alec and he's the tournament director, is going to just get bigger and bigger. And this just coincides with this tournament. So there's a lot of tournaments happening now for the over 50 boys. And so I'd encourage you all to get to Empire in Adelaide and play in JB's tournament. So entry forms are out now, but Ace looks like he's all over this black ball. And so it's 2-1.
Yeah, they call him JB.
Are we talking about JB or are we talking about Ace?
No, JB.
Yep.
It should be JBJ.
Look, JB, he had a good tournament. I watched a few of his games, and he was actually fantastic. He hasn't lost his old flair. He looked very good, and I don't think many people know how old JB is. I'm not going to divulge his age.
Well, Damo, I'm thinking he's pretty old because he takes a long time
he's
to play a shot.
I don't think he does.
Yes, he does.
If he does against you, that's a tactic.
No, not against me. Not against me. I never got to play him. JB would be up there with the slowest players. Greg Laurie. JB. Johnny Barton. Very slow. Nobody said he was dumb.
Yeah. I don't know where that went.
Oh, hang on.
I was talking about.
Hang on. We're going to go to climate change next. I got 2 F-tards behind me.
But, yeah, we've got the peanut gallery, but that's okay. We're used to the peanut gallery. All right, Ace is 2-1 up against Phil.
That's open table. Ooh. Well, he's only got one shot here, hasn't he? Can only kick off this. If he wants a potter ball, he can only kick off that red into the centre. And Damo, is that a shot that you would think that he would take on?
Take off the red?
And then into the centre?
Well, I think if he's got nothing else on, I think he will. If you have a look at the way the balls are laying.
Because he hasn't got an exit, has he? Really?
Look, he hasn't. He could turn around, he could lay it off, he could hit it skinny, lay off, bounce off the rail and sit in behind the red for a safety. I don't think that helps him a lot. I think he might be a bit proactive here. So let's just have a look and see. Unless it does go up the top. I don't know, Glenn.
No.
Our camera angle's a bit.
He's got to come off that
different.
red in between the 2 yellows, surely.
Let's see what happens.
Oh, he's come off the other
Wow,
one.
that's just a great shot.
Well, there you go.
Well, it's a good shot when the commentary box is clapping.
And this is, but this is the thing. We get there. You get there and you have a look at the shots that a player can play. And all right, I was looking at coming off one ball onto another.
Right.
If anybody can hear that noise in the background, I've got to apologise. It's Greg Laurie.
Kind of know what Jamie Stevens has to put up with now with the people dropping in on his commentary.
Well, I don't know. I reckon Jamie's very similar to Greg.
Well, look, he is, but Jamie's measured in what he does.
True.
Here's this
You're
shot
right.
again.
Shut up. No, you're right. Jamie is measured. Yeah.
That's such a good shot.
Come on, Ace. This is it. Run through a little bit.
It sounds like Glenn's just cheering a little bit here for Ace.
Well, I am. I love Ace. I
think
he's
he's just a bit of a fanboy here, but
Hey,
that's okay.
not a bit of a fan.
Because you know what? We're all fanboys here.
I am 100% an Ace fan. 100%. I'll probably give him probably 11 years, but I just think he's just a fantastic player. I really do. Yeah, like I come from a snooker background. You know what snooker's like, Damo? It's pot, get position for the next shot. You play that in 8-ball and you miss, you're gone. And I understand that, but I'm gradually looking at, you know, the difference in the games, which there's a big difference. And my boys are more probably 8-ball, and they're very more tactical.
How old are your boys, Glenn?
The eldest lad's 40. He'll be 41 this year, and the youngest one's 35. So they've got a pretty a big grasp on the game, and obviously far better players than I'll ever achieve to be. But I still love the game.
All in the Broken Hill area.
Yeah. Oh, Wrigley's. Yeah. So yeah, like and one of the big compliments that I heard with my boys was when Jeremy Maguire, captain of the Australian seniors side, 8-ball, and also been an Australian captain of the of 8-ball, said to me that he can't wait for my eldest lad to turn 40, who turned 40 last year, because he said he'll be straight in my senior side, and like. He is a really good player, but yeah, like apart from Aaron, who is an exceptional player and has got a great eye, the youngest lad Reese, very good tactically. But back in Broken Hill, we got a young fella called Adrian Winter, who is the best player in Broken Hill. He is the best player without doubt in Broken Hill.
Pool or snooker or both?
Anything. Oh no, not snooker. But 8-ball and black ball, he is an absolute gun. And I'll tell you now, my boys will admit the same thing. Oh, they will say when he's definitely the better player. We've had an absolute superstar from Broken Hill, represented Australia in the Australian Open 8-ball, Dax Wasley. My youngest lad, one of his best mates. In his wedding as a groomsman, superstar. Absolute superstar, and I'll mention that he's a superstar, and I will qualify that because Dax really doesn't give two hoots. He goes out and he has a game and he just kicks it around, and that's it. It's all fun to him. If Dax ever got down to seriously thinking about, I love this game, I'm going to do something about it, God knows what would happen. He'd be up there with the Jake McCartneys, the Benny Noonans, the whole lot of them. He is just...
He's a super talented guy.
Mate, he's unbelievable.
I've been lucky enough to actually take him away as his team manager to the world titles. So,
did you really? Yeah?
Yeah, and to South Africa. So I've
well,
been
you know all about him.
And he's a good mate.
I'm telling you nothing.
No, you're telling me nothing, but I agree.
Yeah.
But the fact that I know that your young blokes now go okay is why the bloody hell aren't we seeing him in the New South Wales side?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because they're required to travel to Sydney to doing the trials.
Okay. Well,
yeah, look, and to go over there, and you've got to spend a week or 4 or 5 days. It's 1,200 Ks.
Are they keen?
They would represent New South Wales in a heartbeat.
Let's get them to get to Sydney if that's what it takes. I used to have the trials in Byron Bay, which is further. It's probably, well, maybe it's not from Broken, I'm not sure. But I would love to see them involved, certainly for New South Wales, if they've got the passion to do so.
We are 48 k's from the South Australian border, inland. So it makes it really, really difficult.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's one of those things. We have got some really... And I've got a mate in Broken Hill, Mark Hilly. I would back Mark Hilly, who is about 55, 56 years of age. I would back him against any of the players I've seen here this weekend, other than Alec. Maybe...
I'm glad you clarified that.
Phil, there's half a dozen that I might say, well, hang on,
All
I'm
right.
pulling up.
So he's in the contest, he's in the room, he's in the conversation. He can
Damo,
play
out of 48 players,
Yep. He can
he
play
would
ball.
be in the top 40.
That's great.
Well, no, top 6.
You know what? They're the sort of players that we don't know that we'd like to know.
Yeah.
They're the sort of players that we'd like to see at the tournaments and that we'd encourage to play in them. Because you know what? As you get older, you just get older. Everyone can still hit the ball.
That's
I would love
exactly right.
to see them here. I would love to see them get involved and have a game.
That's me and the two boys.
Phil Riley with a bit of
Just
a...
trying to think.
Is this on? Salty's got the super on. All right, that was just on. Left himself a dump in the middle, and he's obviously going to run through and put in the corner. And he needs this too. He doesn't want to get Ace to get too far away from him.
Hillsled and Dex. So, you know, like the old Dax man. There we go.
Yeah, it's
Here
a
we
nice
go.
win. Nice win by Phil. He needed that to keep in the hunt.
So, you know, we're 5 games into it, and Alec has one up. And I still think he's going to win. I think he's going to win the whole tournament.
Oh. Actually, it'd be interesting if Salty skip hands around the room. Just have a look at a few of the guys that are still floating around.
Salty's screening in on...
JR's having a chat. That's unusual.
Yeah, he's going to pan around. See, this is what it's all about, isn't it? You know, there's Phil Riley walking out of the toilet. We got Mandy Snare. We got Mick Delahunty over on the corner of the bar with JR. And Stevie Mack and Stevie Gray and is that Darren? Is that Darren Waite? And we got Chris Snare on the left. We got Darren Brown in the middle. You know, we got a lot of people there that are sort of floating around, and that most people will know. You know, you got Mick Delahunty's wife there.
You also got Mick Grubb to the corner, to the centre
corner.
there, to the centre on the left.
And now we've got Phil Riley, who's about to break and start the 6th game.
I think Phil really kind of needs to jump on this. I think he won a good frame last frame.
Oh, nice break.
He's got one off the break.
Nice break.
He's actually changed his break up.
He's still in here. He's got two balls here.
He changed his break up then. He's gone for the run-through break. He hasn't been doing that.
Well, he's got two, as opposed to coming back off the pack.
Hey, where's Laurie?
I think he's going to take, what do you reckon, Damo? You reckon he'd take the one on the left into the centre? Because then he can transition off the one that he's closest to at the moment.
Yeah.
Just play this and just run it through gently.
I think he's going to get aggressive and try and get on the one
Yeah,
the rail.
looks like it, doesn't it?
He needs to get on the one the rail, clear it up.
Thought he might have got across on that from the next one. Oh, he's going to take the one down the rail on the left. like I said earlier, the way players will assess a game and what shots they're going to take, the really top players, it stands out. Yeah, look, I'll look at it from my perspective, and I'll play a certain shot a certain way, and then you get somebody like Phil or Alec will play it completely different, and then you look and you think, why the hell would they do that? But then you have a look where they've left them with nothing, or like Greg Laurie calls it a jack, when they've got to play one ball onto another. I call it a plant. I don't know what you call it.
I call it, plant or a jackie, same.
So
Yeah,
same, but different. And like you see how they transition into their game and move forward and pop these balls out.
Well, I think after the break, though, here, I think Phil won't be happy because Phil was going out then. All right.
And we got Mick Delahunty saying goodbye. Hello, Mickey boy. Give us a hug, mate. I love you. You're a champ.
Mike Delahunty, great gentleman of the game. He's off. And
absolute superstar.
He's certainly one man I always look up when I go to Adelaide.
Yeah.
And probably the nicer part about Mike is Renata. No. and she's out of here too. Good to see.
Yeah, this is probably the worst part of the weekend when you've got to say goodbye to everybody. Some people have got to leave a little bit earlier than others.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those things you get there and think, oh, well. But, we look forward to the next time we catch up with them. And hopefully next time Mick wears some decent shorts and some decent socks and a decent shirt, because the shit he's got on tonight is disgraceful. Mick. Hey, Mick, next time you come, can you wear something decent? These shorts, don't worry about pulling them up, mate. Harry High Pants. There you go. Mick Delahunty, he's always got the positive side of things and he doesn't care. He's a great bloke. All right, so now we're back on the game. We've got Alec, who's just about to win this game. I'm just trying to work out what he's going to do with that black.
Yeah, we'll go back in the middle if he's trying to pot out. That's where it's going. What's that?
Oh, that's it. Mick, turn around, look at the camera. No, turn around, look at the camera. We got you on the screen. No, over there, over towards your lovely wife.
So Mick Delahunty.
Yeah.
Mick Delahunty.
There's Mick Delahunty in his lovely shorts, his socks, I mean, it's not your wife. Your wife's over there. That's Alex.
So I'm going to go and have a bit of relief at the bar, and I'm sorry, guys. I'll apologise now. I'm going to bring Greg Lower on, Australian Masters champion. He'll come on with Glenn.
And away.
Hopefully Greg's got some interesting things to talk about, but I'll leave him with you. All right, mate. Jesus.
All right.
Buckle
up,
folks.
Beer.
I'm not old enough to drink red wine.
And if Benny Noonan is still silly enough to be listening to this commentary, you want to be careful, mate, because I reckon...
Noonie?
Yeah, I reckon... Now it looks like we got Phil is in a jaw snooker. So,
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
I think the only shot he's got here. What do you reckon, Sam? Do you think he can get this? Or no? Yeah, it was a foul. Yep, he's fouled. He's given 2 shots to Alec.
I was just about to say it's probably not the worst foul in the world, but just looking at the table again, I'd say this frame's over. He's going to obviously run this one straight up the side cush first,
Well,
and they're all there from there.
I think what you said is probably right. First up, it's not the worst foul in the world, but it's not the best either because he can roll this off. The only ones are the 2 yellows left to the ball he's playing at the moment. And he has to come back down to get those. Oh, so he's played one of those to kick the other. Oh, that's a good shot.
Yeah,
that is a good shot.
He's landed beautifully on that.
Yeah, that's a good shot. So he's going to play the one in the centre closest to the pocket. And then he will
be the Jackie next.
Yeah, or what you guys call the Jackie, which is what I call the plant.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and he'll play that shot to transition onto. Hang on, there we go, and he'll play probably the ball closest to the left-hand side. Once he's played that, I'd say.
I'm going to say his last yellow will be the one that's in the middle of the table, and the black will be going in the middle pocket.
Yeah.
That's my prediction from here, Clint.
Yeah. No, Sam, I think you're not far off it. It could be one of 2 or 3 balls. He plays this one across, runs that over, then he plays this one down the bottom corner pocket, comes back out, and he might play that one in the centre.
I think he takes this one in the centre now, travels up the table and back down just to eliminate that half of the table.
Well, he's looking at doing
and
that,
then
but I'm not
he's
sure.
got all his work down the other end of the table.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're probably right. And the thing is, when you get a player of Alec's calibre, they can, from here, get in the position that they need to be in to be able to.
He's underhit that a tad, but he's still
probably
okay.
not as good as he'd like to be.
I think he'd like to be about 2 foot further. I
Yeah.
reckon he would have
would've
liked to have been near the blue
now
spot.
and the black in the centre there. They play this one, come off the cushion, get the one in the centre.
He'll just stun this across, I reckon.
Oh, geez, he's done that aggressively.
Oh,
he could be in a bit of trouble
he's got
here.
away with that.
No, he could be in a bit of trouble here. I thought he might have played that a little bit less forceful and come back out and then got the one in the centre and then...
I think he may opt to take on the swerve shot here and pop that yellow in the middle.
Either that
or he may just snick off that yellow that's nearest the cushion and get a snooker.
Yeah, I think that's the option.
Which would be probably a good shot actually, because it stops him from going across the table to get it. It would be a 2 cushion escape to pop that red.
Yeah, good camera work, Soldy. Very deceiving here. He's left it.
He's definitely underhit that.
Oh, that's gain. That's gain. It's going to be 5-3.
Yeah, look, he's just going to roll this in and pop the
this-
black in the middle.
Yep.
Left hand in the middle.
No way in the world that Riley is going to stuff this up. Oh,
Nah, he's good there.
fucking fly. So 5-3, Alec's way. And
I think if Phil's going okay here because he's kept himself in this match because Ace has been playing very well. Obviously fell out of position that frame and he wouldn't be too happy with that. But I think Phil would be happy at 5-3 down at the moment because I think it could be a further deficit than that. So he's kept himself in this match, and if he can just get himself going, could be game on here.
Yeah, I think you're right because you have a look at earlier on today. I was talking to yesterday I was talking to Alec, and he and Phil were doing a little bit of practice together.
Right.
And I said to Alec, I said, "Oh, it's good seeing you over there, giving Phil some coaching." And he said to me, he said, "You know, the coaching I'm giving him is the coaching he gives me."
Yep.
I said, "Really?" He said, "Yep." So they are good mates. They've got an incredible respect for each other as players.
Oh, well, they've been in...
And they will listen to each other when they're
been in so many state teams together, Australian teams together. They'd have a very long history in the game.
But I'll tell you now, the way Alec plays the game is different than anybody I've seen.
He's going to try and leave himself on that red in between the yellows there, I think. Yeah, he's perfect there. So that's one problem solved. The only other problem he's got is that...
he's going to play that one and then come across to the other red in the middle there.
I think he's just going to roll through on this, but the way he's cueing it, I think
he's
I might be
playing it
wrong.
with bottom.
So he might be looking to come back through that gap. Yep.
So he's going to play the other one and then that one, yeah.
So his hardest shot from here is getting on that red.
The
That's
red next to the
where the
yellow.
black spot is.
Yeah,
And it's only available to one pocket, really, which is the middle near the
pocket.
black.
Yep. Got to agree with you. I'll tell you what's amazing to have another commentator sitting alongside me that knows what they're talking about. Oh, there's the other one over there. Oh, that's a good shot, isn't it? That's a good shot.
So what he's going to do here is he's going to come off two cushions, top cushion, side cushion.
Side cushion, one in the centre.
Run the red into the centre near the black so we can just float down the bottom of the table there, put the other red in the same pocket and the black in that pocket as well, and that's all she wrote.
You know, Sam, unlike the bloke that was sitting next to me earlier, you sound like you know what you're talking about.
I just can't play it, that's all.
No, all respect. Greg Laurie probably had a few too many reds.
Well, I think he's
he
may have to play this with a bit of bottom now to try and
just to drag it left a little bit.
Yeah.
Put it back in that centre pocket where the black is.
He's still got a slight angle there to work with.
I think he's going to drag that across, put that into the centre pocket.
He's going to punch this, I reckon.
Float the red back into the same pocket. Yep. Exactly. Come on, pull up. He's going to roll that over there. Like, this guy is an absolute genius. He really is.
This is actually a reasonably tough shot because you got to roll this in.
Mate, this bloke has got touch.
Well, if anyone can do it, it's probably him.
That every woman dreams about. Look at that. Oh, yes. He is an absolute superstar.
I think it's pretty safe to say it's 6-3.
6-3, mate. Yep. I tell you, seriously, this man is an absolute champion. I could sit down for hours and watch that bloke. Seriously, I could sit down for hours and watch him. He is just so good, so calm, so collected, and business-like in what he does. And ever let him walk off there, you don't know whether he's won the game, lost the game.
Yep. Has the same demeanour all the time.
He's a freak.
I
Now,
remember,
how could you get Phil Riley 6'3"? You have got to be an absolute champion player. And we're talking Masters. I'm dragging away people like Benny Noonan, Jake McCartney, Robbo, all those guys. We're talking Masters here, and we're watching these guys play 8-ball, pool, at such a high level.
Absolutely.
Aren't we? Yeah, really.
And have been doing it for a long time, these two. So they know what it's all about. They've been in this position many, many times. So I don't think the occasion would be flustering them at all.
No.
I think they'd be pretty used to this.
You're right. I just got a message from Jerry Maguire in regards to Greg Laurie. He said, definitely get him off. Kids will be watching this.
Yes, unfortunately, I've had to assert my authority and get Mr. Laurie off the live streaming.
Have a look at it. He's a lunatic.
So, due to popular demand, I've taken over the mic.
But I've got to say, I love the guy. Yeah. All right, guys. Oh, Kelvin's shooting off. Kelvin, you going? Oh, great to see you, buddy. Yeah.
No worries, Kelvin. Good to see you again, mate.
Kelvin, you smell nice. All right.
Alrighty, we're back on. Phil's come up dry. And I think Ace will most definitely be taking reds.
Well,
from
folks, just had one of the nicest guys in 8-ball come over and say see you later to myself and Sam, and that was Kelvin Lee from South Australia. Absolute champion of a bloke and superstar. He is an incredible player. But anyway.
Yes, he's a good man, Kelvin. I met him many, many years ago.
Lovely guy. I'm going to call it right now, Sam. This game's over.
I'm agreeing with you because...
This game is over.
Basically, because of where that yellow was situated near the pocket there, lets Ace be able to cue that fairly well and use that yellow for that red to go in that pocket and come back and be on those two reds that are stuck together, because I think he'll be going definitely one of those up the top and probably the other one to the right in the middle, and then the black down the bottom left I think will be the route, but I could be wrong because I'm not really seeing an extraction shot here.
He's playing through this.
Yeah, he'll be coming down to the bottom push here.
This. Yeah. Yep. So, do you think he's going to screw back from this to get the one on and move back to the one on the cushion, the red on the cushion?
He may. Yeah, I think he will do that now.
No,
yeah, he's going to top through, come up over to the opposite side push.
Kick across. No, he hasn't.
No, he is leaving himself on that one.
Yep. He's got to do it from here, though, surely. He's got to do it from here. He's got to come off, bang.
His key shot is the next one.
Because then he can play this one down and then up into the corner pocket. That's it. That's the shot. There. Oh. Oh, he needed that closer to the pocket.
He's a little bit
Yeah,
Chinese
he
here.
He needed to be between where he is now and the cushion. He had that slight angle.
I think
I just think he's...
Oh, he may be on that one now. Is he up the top?
No, he's not. He's got to play the one on the cushion.
Well, there's still enough space in between that yellow and white for him to be able to cue it okay.
He's going to play it over there just gently, roll it down there, and then he's going to, oh,
I reckon he wanted less angle.
What do you reckon?
Than that.
What do you reckon?
He needed to be more straight on that.
Yeah, I think so.
So he may aim to top through on this and push the other red up the table a bit towards the top right.
Well, that's the only hope he's got. No, he's nowhere near it. He's nowhere near it. I'll tell you now, Alec is going to be really, really disappointed in that shot. He expected more from himself from that shot, and so did I. I thought he'd have got that. No way, she ain't over, mate.
No, it's
As
most
good
definitely far
as good
from
as
over
Phil
at the
is,
moment.
as good as Phil is, I'll tell you, his clacker ain't going to be too relaxed at the moment. Seriously, no, he's not. Yeah, he played this one into the centre pocket, but what's he going to do other than the one down there and then the next one next to the jaw? What about these two here? He's got to be able to...
Yeah, well, he's going to be playing this one down the table now, and then he'll be playing the second yellow down.
He's got to get that position.
Into the left-hand side bottom pocket.
And you know what? There could be enough room between the black and that yellow. See where he's playing it now to be able to play that.
He's
into
played
the
that
corner
perfect,
pocket.
actually.
Yeah.
He's played that absolutely perfect.
Oh, are we? Okay. So we've got to keep our voices down because apparently...
Unfortunately, we're pretty much right next to the table so that the players can hear us talking.
Okay. So we really got to whisper, I think. Yeah, it's a bit hard to judge when we've got the microphone near our faces and...
Just going to roll this in.
Yeah, good shot, Phil. Good shot. He's got to trickle this in.
See, now me personally, I'd actually opt to go the bottom one first, but obviously Phil's more comfortable going this way.
He's going to play this and slide across. Oh, back. Oh, see, isn't it amazing when you look at the screen? It looks like it's got an angle, and we don't get.
Yeah, it's basically because of the camera height. It gives you a deceiving angle.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
nice
beautiful.
shot, Phil. Nice shot.
6-4, going back on again.
Yeah, it's all over this game. I'm tipping Alec is going to win the next two games, Sam.
I'm going to stay on the fence and not tip anything. We're going to play it safe.
Yeah, well, look, I've watched Alec over the last 3 days and watched how he played, and when it gets to a situation where he needs to do something, it's just amazing how he switches on. You know, like that Reinhold guy from South Africa.
Reinhardt?
Yeah.
Or Gerhardt?
No, it's Reinhold, isn't it?
No, Gerhardt Wagner.
Or whatever his name
Gerhardt,
is.
yeah.
Very, very good player. Lovely, lovely, lovely stroke. But when Alec played him, I'll tell you now, he may as well have been playing my 3-year-old grandson. Seriously, it was just ridiculous. He beat him 8-0. And this guy, you listen to the guys from WA, this guy's a fucking, this guy's a superstar. I'm telling you.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 4.
Not convinced.
No, there were 4 balls in.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be the same ball, just has to be 4 balls in a cushion. Tell you what, Andrew Saltmarsh loves his twisties, doesn't he?
So I wonder if he's going to opt to play this in the bottom right, leave himself on that
Will he do that?
bottom red.
Or will he drift one and cover and try and come back down between where that red is now and the bottom cushion with a little bit of side to leave it. There you go. Like that and leave it safe.
I just thought maybe if he could top through on that. And
so he's not going to pot anything now. The only shot, has he got a shot between where that white ball is now, past the black onto the yellow in the centre? I don't think he has.
No.
I don't think he has. So if he hasn't, he really doesn't have an option other than to run off maybe the far left yellow. Or that yellow next to the red above the 2 bottom yellows and up the centre of the table. There you go. Beautiful. Oh, nice pot.
Beautiful shot.
Nice pot. This guy is a freak. Now, I'm going to have to go to the toilet, mate. So if you can...
I will endeavour to keep everyone entertained. So I've just been receiving a few messages through. It looks like the general viewers are pretty happy that Greg Laurie has been kicked off the live stream. So I'm happy to accommodate you all there, and hopefully things are a bit better now. Yeah, he's got a lot of headaches here that he needs to figure out. The obvious ones being the 2 yellows that he's nearest now. You may opt to take the Jackie on now. Oh, he's played it like a legend. Not too sure if that yellow actually goes past. It may do. If I go on the camera angle, I would say no, it doesn't. Funky. Funky. Yep, funky. Do you want to grab Damo? Just trying to get Mr. Damien Smith in the commentary booth here with me. So get yourselves ready for the golden tonsils of Mr. Smith. Hello, Damo. Welcome to the commentary booth, mate.
Samuel, welcome back. Well, he's
And
on the
there
hill.
you go, ace on the
The
hill.
legend that is
Phil with,
Alec Ebrenatis is on the hill.
Phil with a bit of work to do here.
Oh, wow. He's got a lot of work to do. Yeah.
What do you want to get home, Salty?
Well, it looks like all the drunks are off the commentary, and it's myself and Sam.
Safe to say messages flooded through.
I got out while the going was good before
yes.
all the drunks could drag me down. Yeah, Phil's got to do a bit of work here. It's not impossible for him to get back and pinch his set, but
Oh, look,
geez, it's pretty hard, isn't it?
Absolutely not
Aces
impossible.
3 in front. It's tough work for me.
And definitely one of the best front runners getting around too. So, you know, it's, that really doesn't help at all.
Well, all I can say is, Sam, Ace has got one shot to win the title. Let's see if he goes for it.
All right, well, number one, he's going yellows.
Mate, let's see what he thinks.
Number two.
I agree, because there's a red not easily accessible.
Number two, he only has one real problem. It's obviously the yellow next to those three reds.
That's right. The thing is, too, if he pots all the other yellows and doesn't get access to that and then get on a play, it's kind of a waste of time. So
he has to look at an early extraction, but having said that, it's also a tricky extraction because a lot of things can go wrong in trying to get that yellow out. You can, you know, throw that black dead or, you know, get a wrong kiss on a ball and the things just go a little bit ugly and then all of a sudden it's a tactical frame.
it looks like he's landed on angle here to clip in there now on that middle yellow, red and probably get a kick on the yellow. Let's see. Or he might play even for the top red kicking on, but let's, as you know, it looks like he's hitting bottom of the wide here. So
yeah, he is going
wait
bottom.
and see what's happening.
Is this your extraction shot now? Is he coming off this bottom cushion up into those and still leaving himself a shot on that yellow
He's pulling into him.
I know, yeah. Oh, he's
Wow.
played that
Wow.
like an absolute legend.
He split them apart.
Honestly, if you did that with your hands, that'd be how it ended up.
Did that with your hands would be a crime.
Well, one, it'd be a foul. Fair dinkum.
Jeez, I tell you what, the way he's looking
I'll
here,
tell you what,
looks like
if I played that
Chinese
shot,
dinner is
it
closer than
yes, Chinese is
closer
looking
than
good.
further away, I tell you.
Yummy in. Well, what are you saying, Damo? Are we calling it?
Oh, you know what, you don't like to call it when there's 4 balls to be potted, but to be honest, the way he's played all weekend, I feel he gets them.
Do you think he needs to leave this yellow as his last ball? So, yeah,
you know
I think
what,
he's going up the table now.
I would never try. I don't mind whichever way he takes him. He'll see him as he sees the easiest way to get there.
Yeah, he's just going to top through on this a little bit, pot the other yellow in the left-hand top. See, it's not hard to call shots, Damo.
Mate,
He's
he was
probably-
aiming at it with top of the white.
probably
You're not
rolled-
Nostradamus.
He's probably
but-
rolled through a little bit more than what he would have wanted here, but I think he's still okay.
Yeah,
I don't think it's too fine for the white to be running too far. So, I'm not sure he's a massive fan of it though. Just looking at his demeanour at the moment, he's not sure he's overly happy with the angle he's got. So maybe it is finer than I think. Or maybe it's. Well, here we go. We're about to find out.
Is it down the middle? It's down the middle.
Oh, he's going middle pocket,
Yep.
is he? Okay.
I believe so. Pull back off in the middle of the tail.
So
that makes sense.
it's definitely finer than what I thought then if he's going middle.
Yeah.
And
Nice
as
shot.
usual, he's just played it like a legend.
He's left himself a very, very generous angle to pot this and just
And,
run out for Blake.
At the risk
He
of
was just
putting on
stunned.
a commentator's curse, ladies and gentlemen, the inaugural winner of the Old Dogs tournament at the Hobart Workers Club, Alec Everinatis.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Well, Sam, you don't often get a lot right, but you may well have got this one right.
Mate, I am a dead set genius.
Yeah, I don't believe that's the case.
You just ask my cricket team, mate. They'll tell you.
Not the 8-ball team.
No. I'm a cricketer now, not an 8-baller.
Well, I hope you're a better cricketer than an 8-baller.
Wow, I am not a genius. Do you think the way to go was to actually stun that last yellow in and play the...
Well, we thought he would have stunned it in and put the black
Yeah,
out the other corner.
I was actually surprised when he went that way.
I would suggest, by the way it fed off the cushion, he didn't have the angle to stun it. It fed across,
Probably the camera angle made it look a little bit
generous.
less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there's a couple of things here that we can do. We can say, does Phil try and sneak this red under, or does he go and bump one over the middle and try and make it come out of the snooker?
You absolutely have to sneak this one under the black. Oh, hang on. Now that I've said that, you're right with that shot because nah.
Phil's having a look because what he wants to do, if he's going to leave Alec the shot, he needs to really make sure he actually can't make the shot. So he wants to snooker him, but he doesn't want just snooker him. He wants to make sure he cannot
I don't
make
think that's
the shot. Right?
I
He
don't
wants to
think-
make sure he cannot make the shot. We're just going to have a look off camera here, just to have a look and see what we can see. Yeah, I think Alec can go off 2 cushions. That's his best shot here. And you know what? This will be an absolute belter if he brings this down.
Is it just me, or does that white go under that red?
No, it doesn't. It's just you.
It's just me? Okay.
Yeah, there's no room.
All right.
You've had too much to drink.
This is, well, unfortunately, I haven't.
Okay. He's going off 2 cushions, as we thought.
Well, we'll know by the time it hits the second cush whether he's going to get this or not. And that's no good. Oh. I've said that's no good, and he's dead set smashed it.
Well, as usual, Semi Thurgood has not picked it, but Alec Everinatis has just made a great out.
No great
And
surprise there.
to be honest, he looked the best all tournament, and for someone who's been around for 30 years at 8-ball, and I've seen Alec play, I don't think there can be a worthy winner. He is a fantastic player. He's not looked beatable all weekend, to be honest. Alan Brown pushed him the most, 8-6 in the prelim to get here, and no one's really pushed him.
Well,
Phil did well, but to be honest,
it was really only
Alec's a
Brownie that
class
pushed
above.
him.
Alex
and,
a class
and
above.
that's about it.
And if we run through how it finished, we've got Alec has won the tournament. Phil Riley has come second. Alan Brown has come third. To be honest, wow, what a top three! Absolutely sensational. And yeah, we got Cran. If you can see on camera now, Cran's in having a bit of a look, and we all know Cran potted the winner black in our first ever world title back in the 90s, 1996, I believe.
That black was a little bit easier than the one we just seen.
Yeah, look, you know what? But then again, that was for a world title. This was for the Old Dogs tournament, which I do hope gets a new name. We'll talk about that, Sam, over the next 12 months.
Maybe the fossils or something like that.
I would have thought maybe the legends or the elite, but let's wait and see. But everyone's absolutely coming up, and they're shaking Alex's hand. Steve Gray there. We've got a multiple Australian champions all coming up to shake his hand, and well done to Alec. He really has not played a lot in the over 50 since he's turned 50, but there's no doubt that he is absolutely the premier and elite over 50 player in the country, and such a great win for him. And for me personally, I'm pretty excited to see the best I've probably seen in my lifetime consistently win the over 50s. So I'm very excited about that, and well done, Alec, and well done to the Hobart Working Men's Club and the very humble Sammy Thurgood sitting next to me on conducting a outstanding tournament. And I'm sure it'll be back next year. It's going to be well supported. I believe the field will grow next year. Everyone will want to be a part of this, and sponsors will be pretty keen to be involved. And look, Sam, you've done a great thing here, and I really, really do think that this tournament will grow and just grow 8-ball. Us old people, we've was nervous. We enjoy pool, and you've really, really looked after us here and put on a great show. Well, so thank you, mate, and congrats to Alec Evernadas.
Hopefully it runs for another 7 years, Damo, and I can have a crack at it, mate. But anyway, well done to Ace. Most definitely the standout player in the room, and has got a well-deserved victory. I got to get off the commentary booth now because obviously I have some presentations. So,
do we want to film the presentations or not?
Yeah, sure, why not?
So, we film the presentations?
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed everything, and I'm out.